This is Brian Vogel, and he's been sentenced to 30 years in prison. To keep from getting a life sentence with no chance for parole, Brian took a plea deal and pled guilty to second-degree murder. There's a little more to Brian getting the 30 years in prison for his sentence. As you can see in this order for him doing 30 years for the Department of Corrections, down below it says it is further ordered that a 10-year minimum mandatory imprisonment provision section, whatever, that's part of the state statute. However, the defendant is not eligible for statutory gain time or any other form of discretionary early release. What does that mean? Brian was given 30 years. He's going to do every last day. 30 years means 30 years. To refresh your memory, Brian was given 30 years in prison for his involvement with the murder of Matthew Nicol and the killing of his dog Mako around the beginning of March 2021. Brian conspired with 5 other individuals to rob a house off of Hall Road in North Merritt Island of its drugs and money. At the pre-planning stage, Brian's role was to have an AR-15 with a suppressor attached to it. They knew Matthew Nicol had a dog, Mako, and so Brian's role was to shoot and kill Mako so the rest could make entry. And as planned, just before entry, Brian used his AR-15 with suppressor to shoot and kill Mako. And here's part of Tyler's testimony to state investigators where he says that Brian did shoot Mako the dog and that Corey had shot Matt. So when will Brian get out of prison? 30 years is 10,957.5 days. Now, Brian has been sitting in jail for over 4 years for 1,482 days. So, doing the math, Brian needs to do 9,475.5 days. Guess what day that is? It's December 25th, 2050. That's right. Brian will be eligible to get out of prison after serving all 30 years in prison or in jail on Christmas Day, 2050. I've been making these videos poking fun at some of these jerks, but you know what? There are no winners. None. Matthew Nicol's family has lost a son and the son's pooch. Brian Vogel, their family has lost Brian. He's lost in the system. He'll be lucky if he makes it out of prison alive. Like I said, there are no winners in this story. And this event is an absolute tragedy for Brevard County, Florida. Thank you, Judge Spicer, for throwing the book at Brian. But most of all, folks, this is about justice for Matthew.